Hey guys, Matt here, and a bunch of birds as well in a nearby bush. I don't know whether you can hear those. I thought I'd do a bit of a kind of quite practical sort of philosophical talk today, because it's about something that's just quite literally in the last few minutes just happened to me. And crikey, what a sort of emotional roller coaster this was, right? So, I don't know, I mean, if any of you guys are parents, you'll probably understand this kind of thing, right? So let's just start straight from the beginning. So, so today was a bit of a weird one anyway, because I've come to see the girls, and presently neither of them are here, right? So one of them has a sort of dance event that she's at, and I'm going along to that at 3 o'clock to watch her perform in some dance performance, and the other one's over a friend's house. I think, no, they've gone to Southampton, that's right, shopping and spending, money on pointless things and so on. So I just thought, well, I'll just wander down the beach, and I've gathered up some really, really weird, interesting looking stones that almost look like kind of primitive figurines or something. They look like something you might, maybe a witch doctor or a shaman might have in his collection, So I thought I'd gather those because they're quite cool. I'll stick them on the site at some point, actually. And then actually I've got another talk to do about stones, so we'll get to that later. But this one's fascinating, right? So I got this. I was just ambling down the beach, and also thinking about that sort of story, Bernardo Kastrup and Carl Jung both finding identical stones, and so that's made a bit of a home in my mind. And so when I'm anywhere near a stony beach, I think, oh, maybe I could find one of those kind of pyramidical red perfect stones. Clearly haven't found one yet, but I'm also kind of half of me is looking for gold coins as well. I think I've always been like that since childhood. I think, well, what if I'm not looking at that patch of stones when there is a gold coin there? So yeah, and I fixate on this kind of thing. I'm pretty mad, really. But anyway, so on the way back from that, really, really relaxing actually. The sun was out, it was beautiful. I was wandering, sort of cool water lapping against my feet and stuff, in these sandals that I've just recently repaired following the latest fox attack on my footwear. This happens quite a lot to me. It's a hilarious picture. I've tied a little sort of pink bow around the strap. Half the strap was eaten away, and so I've connected it all up with a nice little sort of dandy accessory, really. Anyway, so I was on the way back, and the excellent mother of my girls. Oh, a fox has just wandered by. It's probably the one that chewed my trainers. And got a text from her. She's saying, Taylor Swift gig tomorrow, Wembley Stadium. Caitlin's got a code. And, I'm just going to fess up here. And my instant response was, oh, God, right? Because, this is tomorrow, this is Sunday. I was thinking it's going to be ours, it's going to be costly. I've got work on Monday, I've got some really tons to do. I was even going to try and do some catch up tomorrow, which, definitely couldn't happen if the Taylor Swift gig, happened to me. And so I instantly started looking for ways out, and then I felt extremely guilty, thinking, oh my God, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's Taylor Swift. We've got one of these codes. And then, being a typical philosopher, I'm then thinking, well, but hang on a minute, this is just some kind of, Taylor Swift is just kind of a fantasy they've been peddling. It's an industry, it's a business. But then I thought, well, hang on, I was into Queen and Iron Maiden. I wanted to go and see Iron Maiden when I was a kid, and I could just argue they were a business as well, with cod pieces and heavy metal guitars. So I was all over the place with this stuff. But really, the fundamental truth of it is my lazy, mammalian, sloth-like being in self just thought, oh man, this means I have to do stuff, right? So anyway, I sort of put that to one side, and I got home, we had a discussion. But, there's a few more other things about this, actually, that are going on, right? Because, I mean, the 15-13, they're already going to Prague next week for the Dance World Cup. Caitlin's just obsessed with dance, and she's so good at it, right? And she's in the England team in the International Dance World Cup event in Prague next week, so we're going to that. And I'm thinking, well, that's like a big treat. They're going on holiday to see the granddad later on in the year as well, so they've already got kind of like 2 holidays. I never do holidays anyway, but I've got a weird philosophy on holidays. I just don't do them, really. I sort of quite like my life where I am. just a typical lazy Taurian, apparently. And so, all this stuff going around in my mind. And then, so I came back and we had a bit of a debate about it, myself and their mother. And in the end, I did the good daddy thing, thinking, yeah, I will take them. However we have to do it, we'll get them there. So let's just go ahead and book the tickets. And while we were deliberating over this, of course, some of the tickets that we'd seen had then disappeared and they weren't available. Or they were so bad they weren't even worth having, kind of thing. And I mean, I don't know what the situation is now, but I've made the decision that if we can do it, I will do it. I'm going to do one of those just park things, so you can park in some residential house for like 150 quid. It might be 20, 30 minutes walk to the stadium. And you know, we're just going to do it. It's like 2.5 hour drive from here to there to London. And I'm just going to go through with it. But isn't this interesting? You know, the kind of the deliberations we have to go through about these things. You know, it's kind of like the lazy, personal, selfish mammal saying no, don't want to do anything, versus the dedicated, loyal father that wants his daughters to have great experiences and a great life and so on. You know, versus the professional, Monday morning, grouchy kind of, you know, crap, I've got to do a ton of maths and analysis to, you know, versus all these other different Matthews that have their own different kind of perspectives. Now, I'm not saying I'm, you know, sort of multiple personality disorder. I mean, it's not as crisp and dissociated as that, but you know, these forces are all there. You know, these versions of myself all sat around this kind of strategic, you know, think tank, saying, what do we do? And you know, generally, nearly always come back to, well, do whatever makes them happy, because they are good girls, and I think they do deserve it, and it would be an amazing experience. But I think this ship may have sailed, I'm afraid. So there was a little bit of deliberation time, but we did our best. We looked at trains. There were no trains. There was no train option whatsoever to get there and back on the same day. We'd have to wait till 7 the following morning, right? So that's a bummer. I mean, what's happened to British Rail? I mean, I'm sure you used to be able to get like trains into London and then back, you know, even late at night. Apparently there isn't one. So, you know, so car was the option, and I decided I would do it. But I might not have to. And I admit now there's a little bit of a sense of relief, because, you know, I was definitely going to be taking earplugs. Not necessarily for Taylor Swift, because she's not so bad, but it's just the millions of screaming kids around me singing the lyrics. That would probably drive me insane. So yeah, I was definitely going to go with earplugs. So yeah, you know, there it is, the philosophy of parenting, and the philosophy of, you know, the ethics of parenting. A little part of me, you know, hopes that one of those tickets comes through any minute now. We're still sort of hovering over the, you know, this code system thing they've got. But, you know, there's probably an equally sized part of me sort of hoping that that's it, that ship has sailed, and I won't have to do this. Well, there it is. Thanks for listening. Bye.